So this just happened. Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, just bowed out of the 2026 race. No press blitz, no victory lap, just a podium, some notes, and a really weird smile you're about to see. Why? Well, it might have something to do with Trump calling him a stupid, low IQ governor, or that Somali daycare scandal that's looking less like fraud and more like a $1 billion black hole. Or maybe, just maybe, when you preside over the biggest welfare scam in state history and call your critics racist, people stop buying what you're selling. We've got the receipts. Let's roll the tape.
So this is what happens when your own federal government wages war against you. This is what happens when they target communities for their own benefit. This is what happens when they scapegoat. And this is what happens when they no longer hide the idea of white supremacy when you hear the Vice President of the United States talk about now white people won't have to apologize for being white. That's never happened once in my whole damn life. And I think everybody in this room knows what they're doing. So we're here today to say enough of this. We're here today to stand that Minnesota will protect their neighbors. So this is what happens when your own federal government wages war against you. This is what happens when they target communities for their own benefit. This is what happens when they scapegoat. And this is what happens when they no longer hide the idea of white supremacy when you hear the Vice President of the United States talk about now white people won't have to apologize for being white. That's never happened once in my whole damn life. And I think everybody in this room knows what they're doing. So we're here today to say enough of this. We're here today to stand that Minnesota will protect their neighbors. So,
so y'all watch how he carefully chose his words there, right? So Tim's out. No regrets, he says. Translation. I'd rather not campaign while subpoenas are flying. I think that's what I'm hearing. I don't know about y'all. He's saying he's staying to focus on the work. That's politician for I hope you forget everything by next year. But Trump didn't forget. And when Trump smells weakness, he doesn't disappear. Here's the response. This is where the tone changes.
One thing we haven't heard you specifically react to is the Minnesota fraud that we've seen play out.
Well, it just doesn't get worse. I've reacted. It's almost not even believable. This very stupid, low IQ governor, he's a very stupid man because, I had a campaign against him with JD. And he's a stupid man. And he's a corrupt politician. And the Somalians are ripping off our country to the tune of, looks like $19 billion, but that's only what they can find. So usually when you look at it 19, that would mean it could be 50. But the numbers are astronomical. Think of it. They have a dead country. They don't have government. They don't have anything. They don't have a military. All they do is run around shooting people and trying to capture ships. We don't let them take ships anymore. You know why? We use the same exact missile on them that we use on the drug carriers. And it's very effective. So, you notice there's nobody capturing ships anymore? Because as they head out to go capture the ship, and the ship doesn't want to fire back because it's very flammable stuff in many cases. And the insurance companies don't want, because they build $1 billion ship, and they don't want anybody firing rockets into the ship. But we're hitting them so hard, and it's very similar. Same missile system. It's called deadly accurate. And do you notice that ships aren't being taken anymore? The pirates are. That's right. I thought about. The pirates aren't. Well,
no Somali pirates.
It's actually very easy. They head out. We say, guess what? There's pirates. That's the end of the pirates.
Now, Trump didn't just throw shade. He tossed the whole tree. $19 billion missing, maybe more. And the guy running the state, silence, on mute. Walz didn't steal it, but he signed the checks. And, we don't know what the Learning Center, not the learning, the Learning Center number went straight to Tim Walz's office. But hey, Trump didn't stop there because in his mind, there's a ringleader. I want you to listen closely. And watch who he names.
Somalia pirates. But what they are doing is they're stealing money from the American taxpayer. And every one of them should be forced to leave this country, including Ilhan Omar, who's a total crook. And she's one of the leaders of it. Not the only, because she's not that smart. But think of it. $19 billion at least they've stolen from Minnesota and from the United States. It's actually more from the United States because Minnesota puts in, and we're not going to pay it anymore. We're going to have Walz go pay. We're not going to pay them, and we're not going to pay California, and we're not going to pay Illinois with that big slob of a governor that they have, that Somali.
So I wanted to replay that so we can emphasize Ilhan Omar this time, America's least grateful refugee. Trump wants her deported. The left screams xenophobia and any other phobia or ism they can come up with. But here's the problem. You can't scream racism when the numbers scream back louder. I mean, a whole lot louder. And it's not just Trump saying it. The next clip matters more than people want to admit. Now, this is the part they can't explain away.
Be online making threats talking about, yeah, go to work. Yeah, do this, that, and the third. Working 50 hours a week. Why get benefits? And then you got the other damn somebody talking about, yeah, Trump not going to be around to see that we take it over. Let me tell you something right about now. All that damn trash talking, you better hush your damn mouth. You want to know why? Because we are not playing no damn games. And then at the same damn time, you talking about taking over. That is a declaration of war. That is really a threat to national security. Why? Because you are a foreigner. You are an immigrant in this country, really a refugee, and you over here running your damn mouth when you already are outnumbered, outmanned, and outgunned. You are not with the smoke, let me tell you. You do not want the smoke as an immigrant. You want to know why? Like I said before, we got guns in the black community, guns in the white community. It's veterans in the black community, veterans in the white community. Both communities know about war and know about guns. And let me tell you something. Even though we might have our differences, but if it comes down to us defending our country from anybody that's up there making the threat, let me tell you something. We will put all that aside and we will come together and defend. Let me tell you something. Stop running your damn mouth. That's one of the main reasons why we want a lot of y'all immigrants out. Why? Because you are very hateful and very ungrateful, and I'm tired of your own here running your damn mouth, talking this, that, and the third. I'm sick of y'all doing that, but then at the same time, you want to be waving the flag of your country, and you love your country so damn much. Why the hell are you here? You over here from another damn country that you did not fight or bleed to die for, did not build, and you running your mouth? You out there trying to make damn threats? Let me tell you something. You better keep your damn mouth shut. We're not playing with y'all. You don't want no damn smoke. On American soil, do you think it's a game? Hell no, it's not a game. We're not playing with y'all. You coming from another damn country that you did not build. And you over here running your damn mouth. You got a hell of a nerve to be doing that as a damn immigrant, when a lot of you immigrants, you ran away from your damn country, but you did not build it. But then you got enough to come over here and talk about immigrants built America. Then why the hell you can't build up your own? Why are you always running and fleeing from your damn country? But then you want to come to this one that was already fought and bled and died for, already built, and you didn't do nothing for it. You ain't stand for it. None of that. And you running your damn mouth?
Sheesh. My guy was going. But notice something? This isn't a politician. It's not cable news. It's not a white guy in a suit. When the scam gets big enough, even strangers on the street start sounding like enough. You know? And that brings us to the so-called businesses at the center of all this. Let me show you one real quick. Take a look at this.
Did anybody else notice that the Quality Learning Center does not have a playground or a play structure outside? And in Minnesota, to be a licensed daycare, you have to have a 1,500 square foot playground or play structure within 2,000 feet of the building. There's no play structure.
Yeah, great observation. Nearly $2 million in taxpayer money for a daycare with no kids, no swings, and no sandbox. This isn't a business. It's a postcard. So Trump does what bureaucrats never do. He shuts the money off. Now comes the consequence.
The Trump administration has now frozen more than $190 million in funding for Minnesota, but that's just a drop in the bucket of what could be coming at the end of this month, with more than $2 billion in Medicaid funding on the line if the state doesn't meet HHS's demands for documents and reforms. Rich?
Garrett Tenney live for us tonight. Garrett, thank you.
The Trump administration has now frozen more than 100.
Straight to the point. $190 million frozen. That's not petty. No. That's policy. Trump doesn't just tweet. Well, he don't even tweet, right? He troops. Every now and again he tweets again. He's back. But yeah, he hits budgets where it hurts. And if you think this scandal is just financial, I really want you to sit back and think again. Because this part goes back years. Whew. This definitely didn't start yesterday.
Sentencing for 9 Somali American men is set for next week in Minneapolis, but a newly elected official is asking for leniency.
Minnesota Representative-elect Ilhan Omar wrote a letter to the judge asking for compassion instead of decades of prison time.
And Fox 9's Karen Scullin joins us now with what she had to say to defense attorneys and U.S. Attorney Andy Lugar. Karen?
Well, defense attorneys are asking for leniency, but so are several others who filed letters to the judge on behalf of the defendants. But U.S. prosecutors responded tonight with strong arguments why all of them should, in fact, receive the recommended sentence.
Election night was just 2 days ago, but it seems Minnesota Representative-elect Ilhan Omar may have already made her first move as an elected official. In a letter signed November 8th, Omar asks a U.S. district judge for compassion when sentencing 9 Minnesota Somali American men convicted of trying to join the terrorist group ISIS. She says the best deterrent to fanaticism is a system of compassion. We must alter our attitude and approach if we truly want to affect change. We should refocus our efforts on inclusion and rehabilitation. But she's not the only one. 13 letters, including one from the dean of students at Minneapolis Public Schools, were also sent to the judge asking for leniency. Osman Sheikh Yusuf says, I truly am honored to call Abdi Rahman my friend, and I hope that good things happen to this wonderful young man who totally deserves a second chance in life. But those letters and defense attorneys' request for a lighter sentence might not be enough to convince a judge. U.S. Attorney Andy Lugar has filed a response arguing against any lightened sentence. As to the defense claims, some of the men were immature and were therefore impulsive. He says there was nothing impulsive about the defendant's decision to continue to try and reach Syria, despite the FBI's numerous attempts to stop them. And in response to Gulad Omar's defense attorneys who characterized the men as three stooges, Lugar writes to the judge it was a very dangerous conspiracy and that it was far from comedians engaged in slapstick comedy and black and white film. ISIL's members engage in wholesale murder, rape, and cultural annihilation.
Now, sentencing will start on Monday, and it's expected to last 2 or 3 days. Kelsey and Jeff?
Ilhan Omar wants to ask the judge for leniency for 9 men trying to join ISIS. I mean, imagine that. Please don't send a man to prison. You know, he meant well. Same circle, same protection, same excuses. But now independent journalists walk straight into the proof. I want you to watch this real quick, okay? This is where it all comes together.
The same person has opened up. I was in one of their fraud committee meetings. The same person had been opening up daycares and healthcare companies, and it was all big. They had it all mapped out, and somebody from inside the government in Minnesota is still continuing to write these checks. So,
and they're not dumb. They can't be dumb, right? They can't be that dumb, I guess, is the point.
Well, I mean, it's possible that they're totally incompetent, or they're turning a blind eye, or they're getting payments. Probably one of the first two, but who knows, right?
Well, the thing with the money they're receiving is that CCAP money, it's tax exempt. And so they literally get like the money and they get it in cash somehow. They don't pay the women that are working there. Like there's videos of them just handing the ladies cash. And Muslims, they're able to have 4 wives. And so they're able to collect the welfare on top of that. That's why 81% of the population, Somali population side of Minnesota is on welfare, because they're actually not paying the people. They're just collecting the welfare from it. And then if you go into any of the grocery stores here, they're not grocery stores. They have like 6 different shops inside of them. And they all have money transferring sites inside there where they're just siphoning money out to other countries and back home. And a lot of time there's actually Fox did a thing on it in 2017. And I actually had somebody who's going to be in my next video talking about this. He used to work at TSA, and the Somalians would literally bring in millions of dollars in cash through TSA. And then they'd fly from there to Atlanta and then to Dubai. And then, because there's no taxes in Dubai, they then send that money back to Somalia. And so like the rumors of them funding Al-Shabaab, they're real because they've been able to funnel all this money. And once they go through that TSA with a luggage full of cash and they make it to Dubai, they're able to send it to wherever they'd like.
No kids, no staff, lights off, but the money always on time. I'm trying to make that make sense. If ghosts could open bank accounts, this is exactly how they do it. And just when you think the system might correct itself, the system protects itself, y'all. And this is why people are furious.
This is Minnesota Judge Sarah West. Judge Sarah West was the judge that oversaw a $7 million Medicaid fraud case. And despite the fact that the jury convicted him unanimously, Judge Sarah West said, no, we're not going to be doing that today. Now, she claims that she threw out this unanimous guilty verdict due to the fact that all of the evidence presented was merely circumstantial. Now, what was this circumstantial evidence, you may be asking? Well, Fatah Yusuf and his wife were running a home health care service out of their home, and despite the fact that their business is inside of their house, they were able to afford all of these fancy trips and luxury vehicles and these thousands of dollars of shopping sprees. So the math wasn't really quite mathing. So not only in Minnesota can you absolutely rob the state blind with fraud, but even if you get convicted by a unanimous jury, a judge will still let you off the hook. Isn't that special?
Unanimous jury, guilty verdict, and the judge says, nah, welcome to Minnesota, where crime pays and the court says, hey, you're good, fam. This isn't just about Tim Walz or Omar. It's not even just about, the missing billions. It's about a system that rewards silence, excuses fraud, and punishes anyone who notices. But not this time. Not under this spotlight. Because this time they got caught. So if you made it to the end of the video, I want you to comment, shut your damn mouth, Tim. Now I know you're real and you made it to the end of this video. Other than that, please be safe. Go check on a friend today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.